friends, welcome back to Creature Crossing. Thank you so much for coming back to check out the latest video. Today I am going to reveal to you the newly finished train station. That's right, the very same train station we only just decided to build in the last video. I was definitely nervous, but it came out really cute and I cannot wait to show it to you guys. So without further ado, let's play. Alright friends, really quickly let me remind you of where we left off with this train station concept in the last video. We established the bare bones of a layout and that's about it, so let me show you where we have come from here. You guys, look how cute this is! Look how good this came out. There are so many little parts and pieces and I can't wait to walk you through all of them. But just take in the general impression of our train station, our loading platform right off of the airport. So we'll start here in the front because why not? Super far over in the corner, you guys can kind of see against the building, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I do have a campsite sign nestled in there, and the only reason that's there is because it's the only like large, nice sign that's an arrival statement. So unfortunately, we don't have like a more urban version of that or something more city core. It's just this cute campsite sign. But that's why it's here, because it gives that impression of like, welcome. Here's an official entry point to a new place. So that is over there. I have one on the other side as well, of course, because it's me and everything has to be balanced and duplicated. Okay, so now let's talk about our luggage cart, if we can even call it that. Suspend your disbelief a little bit. Let's not see cardboard boxes. Let's see suitcases. Because this is the closest I could get to establishing like a luggage catch area. So I grabbed the OK Motors sign because it felt like a good way to declare like, hey, here's a special place that you need to be able to find. So like, here's the sign and like, here's the baggage, right? And the only thing other than the steel briefcase, which I did try to put on top of the boxes on the rolling cart, is Rover's briefcase, this really cute little suitcase item that we have. It's like a specialty item for the game. It's the only piece of luggage we have, so I had to use it. Yes, it's duplicated, but that's fine. It definitely gives the impression that we're going for here. So there's our little luggage claim. And then here towards the entrance to the tracks themselves, we have a couple of ABD machines. Now I told you guys I was going to bust these out, and they really are here just to represent like a ticket kiosk. So, you know, you pop off the plane, and now you've got to catch your tram or your train to like your next destination. So this is just a little kiosk where you can buy your ticket or reload your transit card or whatever your situation may be. So that's what those are stand-ins for. And then on the far side of this platform specifically, we just have some seating. If you need to come over here, kind of collect yourself, grab your baggage, grab your ticket, and have a moment, you can come over here and sit down on a lecture hall bench, which is one of my favorite items, one of my go-to items for any kind of outdoor seating, especially if it's like in a transit area. We've got some plant partitions here. We've got some curved street lights as well as the black crosswalk signal. I asked you guys in the last video to cast your vote. I, of course, had to go ahead and make some decisions, so I did go with the black framing for the crosswalk signals and the lamppost. The curved street lamp just became the thing. It looks really cool in small, compact spaces. It kind of gets lost in translation, I think, in bigger, more open areas. This was kind of an ideal build to bring the curved street light into. And I just think it's cute. I think it's charming. I also think Winnie is cute and charming, despite the fact that she's interrupting my reveal video. Alright guys, you've seen the code, you've seen the lamps, you've seen all of these little details, you've seen the track code that we got for the trains. Now I did go through the space. Winnie, honey, if I talk to you, will you go away? Okay, let's see if she's had her needs met and if she will leave us. We'll see. But anyways, you guys, obviously I went through, I kicked up all of the in-game path. Let me show you the map really quickly. We had some in-game path from my previous layout for this area still kind of hanging out, and of course my player icon is kind of blocking everything. But really, the only thing that I've done is establish this train station, so this is the only place that in-game path has been changed. So all I did was keep that path in the front. I do still want some recognition of the space on the map. So I do have a little bit of code, basically just leading that center line up so you can still kind of see that there's something going on down here if you're just looking at the map. But I cleaned it all up. I got it out from underneath the train tracks and all of that good stuff so it looks a lot better. You guys may have also noticed I had a rope fence going in the space before. I also had a ton of black steel fence items at the bottom of the street at the front of the island, and it was the only way I could kind of block the street off from the shore, from the beach, because I couldn't fit a sidewalk down there. So basically what it came down to is I was like, I have a bunch of these steel fences, let me see what these look like in the space. And I think they came out super cute. They also allowed me a bit more space. So like for reasons I cannot explain, you can push an item closer to a steel fence item than you can push it against a fence, if that makes sense. And also allowed me to push the fence closer to the edge of the platform. So it's just a tighter fit, and I think the look of it is absolutely perfect, especially playing in with all this other black iron stuff going on. Alright guys, I know you've been waiting for it. Let's talk about these trains. So obviously this is the Plaza train item, and I had to go with the black one. I love all of the different colors we have. However, I did not want to bring this big pop of fantastical color into the space. This is still a real core theme. It's still suburban neighborhood. We're just kind of expanding the concept of a shopping district for it a little bit more, but I don't plan on doing anything really whimsical or just out of left field. I went with the black train because it was the most basic, right? It was the most non-clashy color option that we had. So because I had to go with the black one, the way that I was able to fill out the body of the train, the carriage, these are actually wooden wardrobes just turned around, and of course customized to black, to give a little bit of a ceiling and to fill in that gap a little bit behind the cutout standees, which of course just have this adorable custom design code that matches the Plaza train. I tried everything, you guys. I tried the stalls. The Festivale stalls actually fit better than the regular wooden stall, but again, with the color scheme, I didn't have an option in the Festivale stall to really work for this one. So I tried desks, I tried bookcases, I tried all kinds of different furniture items to fill this in, and most of them were too tall, and that seemed like the taller the item, almost the further away from the standee it could fit. Without getting caught up in too many details, that's what it is. The Plaza train in black, custom design code for the cutout standees, and then the wooden wardrobes just to fill out the body of the train here. And then here in the middle platform, I went ahead and I put 2 park clocks, because how important is it for you to know what time it is to make sure you catch your train on time? If it was any other space other than like a transportation station, I would never put 2 clocks out. But I thought this actually made sense for the train station. Winnie, I thought we figured this out. Next to the clocks, I have a couple more benches here. I've got a drink machine. I mean, at one point there was snack machines and all kinds of stuff out here, but I just simplified it. I cleaned it up a little bit. On this side, I have a telephone box, which I think works perfectly in this space as well. And let's talk about these structures really quickly. So I remember saying that I wanted some kind of tunnel or cave for these trains to actually go into, so that I didn't have to build a track that went all the way across the front of the island. I was hoping to keep the station kind of compact, kind of isolated to this area just in front here. So my first idea was build cliffs, put like a stone arch, put some kind of arch in front of it against it. So a couple of different ideas popped through my head, but when I saw a castle gate while I was flipping through my inventory, it all clicked together, and I was like, that's all I need. That's absolutely all I need, because even though it is castle, it's just plain enough, and they're just gray brick structures that you can kind of get away without turning the train station into a castle, right? They're just arches and walls, and so I basically built square structures the train tracks are going to go into. And I am, at the moment, perfectly content for them to only go this far. I think that that's enough. There is a part of me that's like, oh, I need to make these super long and have the tunnels go like all the way over here, or something like that, but I really don't think it's necessary. I think once you come through and you get to resident services and you cut over to your shopping district, I mean, you've already forgotten the train station. Like, you're on to the next thing. So I think it's going to be totally fine to cut them off here and then build some cool stuff on the outside as well. But before I get ahead of myself, let's just take a look at this back platform really quickly. So obviously I built 2 sets of the tunnels for our 2 trains, and the amount of measuring and precise locating of things I did for my original layout here has helped me so much. Everything just fits perfectly. Everything's just measured out and balanced because I already did the work, right, and set up the space that way. Back here, it's just more seating. It's a couple of plants, the same lamps that have been framing out each of the platforms, the black steel fence item, and then the only thing fancy and different are these steel trash cans, which maybe aren't the prettiest thing to put at the entrance of resident services, but again, it's a train station. You're just trying to get where you're trying to go. It's about function and efficiency. It's not necessarily about being overly decorative. I actually had to settle myself down a little bit because I wanted to throw plants everywhere and just make stuff really cute, and it's like, no, make this functional. Keep it clean, keep it simple. And that's what I did, and I absolutely love it. I think it came out better than I could have even hoped for. So guys, here is our finished train station at the front of Valencia Island. Do you love it? Please let me know in the comments. I love it. I'm so happy with it. So off of here, we're just going to talk about for like 2 seconds what my plans are for the shopping district, which hopefully I'll be able to show you guys here soon in its full completed glory. But I went ahead and built, as you can see, some cliffs and some inclines off of resident services. I switched up kind of what was going on around this building, so now I've got some hedges and some cedar trees, and we'll see where the design takes us. These things might not be able to stay, but this is just kind of where I started. So we've got our plaza here, of course, resident services, and on both sides, perfectly measured out, I built these cliffs and these inclines, right? So the idea that I have in my head is, we'll say Nook's Cranny goes over here, okay? So this cliff has to go backwards a little bit. I'm gonna tuck Nook's Cranny really, really tight in here, but I do want clearance off of the incline before you like smack into the front of the store. So I do need to push this cliff back a little bit. I'll probably just do like a fence line around the edge, and then I'll have the store right here. I want it nice and tight because that's what New Leaf structure was like. That shopping district, that shopping strip, every building was pretty much connected. There were no gaps in between, but some of the entrances were up staircases and some of them were on the main level. So I'm still trying to keep to that New Leaf concept by stacking my buildings in a way that resembles that shopping strip a little bit. So Nook's Cranny is going to go up here. I don't know how much space I want to give around it. I'm going to be honest, I don't have plans to fluff out like the fronts of the buildings. In New Leaf, there was no outdoor furniture. There was like a couple of benches, I think, and just pathing. And then there were entrances to stores. There wasn't like a lot of stuff happening decoratively around the stores. So to keep with that, and also to keep myself on schedule, I don't know how much extra effort I'm going to put into decorating around the stores. So that is to be determined, but I did build a pretty big cliff. We could do something really cute, like a seating area, maybe right here off of the side of Nook's Cranny. We could have a nice little courtyard, or I could trim it all down to make it really tight. And then I'm going to put, not Able Sisters, and not the museum, I'm going to put an additional resident house right here on this first level. Guys, if you have been around Creature Crossing before, you know that on my old island of Lothlorien, I had 4 additional player accounts. I had Caspian, Tifa, Potter, and Zelda. I had 4 extra player houses to create hotels and restaurants and coffee shops and gyms and whatever else struck my fancy. And it allowed me to flesh out island themes really nicely. I loved having their extra houses, and I loved having their extra storage. So I've been wrestling with myself a lot, and now that we are back to making content from this island, I did bring back Potter and Zelda for this island. So I'm going to have 2 additional player houses that I'm going to turn into 2 additional stores. Because at the end of the day, there's only like 3 buildings plus the museum. So to make this balanced, I'm going to have 2 buildings on each side of resident services. And then I'm going to put the museum, I'm not sure if it's going to go on this side or the other, the left or the right, but in New Leaf, the museum was pushed all the way over to the left side of that little shopping strip, and it had its own little space. I'm going to definitely make some kind of pathway that leads you to the museum, but it's going to kind of stand apart. It's going to be its own thing. That's the direction that I'm going with the shopping district now that the train station is finished. So that is what I am working on next, and that should be the next update, cross our fingers, that I have for you guys. So thank you so much for coming back and checking out the train station. It came together easier than I expected, and it came together better than I expected. So that gives me some positivity moving forward that I can actually I can design islands and I can do new things that I've never done before, and maybe this is all gonna be super great. So you guys come back and check out the progress as it happens. In the meantime, check out some of my older videos. There's other cool designs happening in other places on this channel. So check those out for sure. Consider dropping a like and consider dropping a sub while you're here today. I appreciate you guys. You take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next video.